I am back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. As always, all the audio from all of our videos is available on Black and White Network podcast, and that is available wherever you get your podcast from, including the Monday through Thursday Rumble live stream that goes up on the pod as well. Well, the fire around Dylan Mulvaney and Bud Light's support of that transgender is not going away. In fact, they're starting to lose leftists now. And this is glorious. They made this sweeping change to throw out this trans activist and get on board with the brand, turning their back on one entire half of America, society, and one I would contend was their biggest part of their beer drinking demographic, by the way. And I think that's why you've seen week on week on week drop-offs in Anheuser-Busch sales, and the rise simultaneously of other beer brands and their sales percentages going up. So we got a couple of things. We've got leftist activists of the LGBTQ plus Niner community coming out and calling for an active boycott. Why? Because Bud Light is scrambling to back off what they've already done. There's no point, Bud Light. There's no point. You might as well wrap your loving arms around all of these nitwits, all right? Just go ahead, embrace it, and pray to God they will start buying Bud Light beer. I contend they probably wasn't drinking Bud Light anyway. But you have found that out now, haven't you? And we've also got, and this may be the biggest part of this video, Anheuser-Busch has fired the ad agency that was involved in getting Mulvaney involved anyway, to begin with. Again, it does you no good. It's too late. This ship has sailed. You might as well give the ad agency a damn raise at this point, because people are not coming back to that brand. I don't think there's any circumstances that I can think of that would bring anybody with any actual common sense back to that brand. So let's go with that part first, and then we'll get to the leftists that are bouncing out now of Bud Light because of Anheuser-Busch trying to back off this Dylan Mulvaney thing to begin with. This is a New York Post, and it wasn't exclusive from them. Anheuser-Busch is telling U.S. beer distributors that it has fired the, quote, third-party ad agency behind Bud Light's Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. But the beer giant is staying tight-lipped about marketing firm's identity, even launching a fresh ad campaign aimed at damage control. The company's global CEO, Michael Ducaris, this week came out swinging at the, quote, misinformation being spread about the extent of Bud Light's relationship with the transgender influencer who has 10 million followers on TikTok. So you thought this nitwit with 10 million followers could come out and lay in a bathtub and drink this beer and all this stuff, and that would not be considered a partnership and or campaign. Are you mental? Yeah. So we quote, we need to clarify the facts that this was one camp, one influencer, one post, and not a campaign. It's too late. The ship has sailed. The Anheuser-Busch boss said during the earnings call Thursday. Can you imagine what shareholders are thinking right now? Imagine the level of anger for people that's owned shares for 20, 30 years. What if this was part... We haven't even talked about the fallout on this. We've talked about all the people that are out there trying to sell their beer, the merchandisers and all that, and the fact that it's basically ruined their lives. How about all the people that had invested in Bud Light over the years because they thought Bud Light was aligned with their ideals, and then this happens? They've probably literally ruined retirement savings stock plans at this point for some of these people, and that's sad, right? It is sad, but it's collateral damage. It's part of it. This has got so many layers. It's unbelievable. Anheuser-Busch also sent a letter to jittery distributors, that's what I'm talking about, telling them that it had cut ties with the firm responsible for the concept that has led to Bud Light's sales cratering since Mulvaney last month posted a video on TikTok touting the best beer ever in the country. The Belgian-based conglomerate said the beer can at the center of the firestorm, which features Mulvaney's face, was not produced by Anheuser-Busch or any of its facilities. Several distributors told the Post. Ad agencies send out hundreds of influencer kits a year, some of which have custom can included. This was one of those situations, a distributor based in Texas told the Post. John Skeffington, a chief executive of a family-owned Skeff Distributing in Decatur, Illinois, said in a Facebook post, the single can was produced by a third-party ad agency, not Anheuser-Busch. It does not matter, dude. It does not matter. It's a wrap, dude. It is a wrap. Skeffington went on to note his company does not produce the products or make marketing decisions for the products we sell, adding that his firm and its more than 100 employees have been negatively impacted by this unfortunate event. Please don't allow one decision to jeopardize the goodwill we have earned over many decades, being good friends, neighbors, and all of our communities we serve. Yeah, but there was also a time when Anheuser-Busch was owned by an American company, and they were a proud American company, one you could count on to absolutely have the wherewithal to understand what their beer drinking demographic, which honestly, it was a lot of beer drinking Uncle Jesse's and their wives or girlfriends. And now when they're sitting around for their AEW or WWE pay-per-view or UFC event or whatever it is they're consuming, they've gone to another beer. Again, we've talked about how important beer loyalty is for people. And you had their loyalty and you betrayed it. This is kind of like you ran around on your wife. She found out. She trusted you. And now that betrayal, and we know that leads in a lot of cases to a permanent divorce. Yeah, except this time your mistress was a dude that thinks he's a chick. I'm just throwing that out. Great job, Bud Light. Left-wing activists are furious at Bud Light for backing away from Mulvaney. Now they're calling for a boycott of their own. Whew. Wow, it's bad. The brand partnership between Bud Light and social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney appears to have alienated both conservatives and leftists, as members of the latter group criticize the brand for half-heartedly recanting support for the self-described transgender social media star. Several reports indicate that Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of Bud Light, has hemorrhaged sales after executives partnered with Mulvaney, a man who claims to be a woman, and chronicled his purported gender transition on social media. Executives for the beverage firm have offered vague apologies, downplayed the extent of the campaign, and even hired veteran Republican lobbyists in various attempts to win back disgruntled conservatives. Oh, my goodness. Wait till we find out who those Republicans are. Wait till we find out who those rhinos are. I mean, we've already seen Donald Trump Jr. come out and try to get us to back off. That's not happening. That's not happening. Man, I can't wait to find out all those names, because you can bet your ass I'm going to hit record on them, those rhinos right quick. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Superficial attempts to back away from Mulvaney, on the other hand, appear to have angered members of the LGBTQ community, who are now demanding that Anheuser-Busch support the ideology or face another boycott effort from the other side of the political spectrum. Jay Brown, a senior vice president at Human Rights Campaign, wrote a letter to Anheuser-Busch last week asking the firm to release a statement explicitly supporting Mulvaney and to implement transgender inclusion training for executives. Quote, in this moment, It is absolutely critical for Anheuser-Busch to stand in solidarity with Dylan and the trans community, the document said, according to The Hill. However, when faced with anti-LGBTQ plus and transphobic criticism, Anheuser-Busch's actions demonstrate a profound lack of fortitude in upholding its values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. 3 of the most dangerous words in the English language at this point. Stacey Lentz, a co-owner of the Stonewall Inn, widely considered the birthplace of the modern LGBTQ political movement, said in an interview with Newsweek that Anheuser-Busch, quote, missed an opportunity to stand by their commitment to the trans community by pandering to and giving in to transphobic outcries. She predicted that, quote, as the brand, they will be extinct in a few years if they are not fully on the side of equity. Citing left-wing values broadly held by young Americans. Activists hosted a demonstration 2 years ago outside of Stonewall Inn, during which they poured beverages distributed by Anheuser-Busch into a nearby gutter. The protests were meant to criticize donations the company provided to lawmakers who sought to limit the spread of radical gender theory. The Anheuser-Busch responded to the criticism at the time by noting the company has, quote, received a perfect 100% score from the Human Rights Corporate Equality Index, LGBTQ equality. By the way, that is a corporate index that has caused many of the brands you love to have completely obliterated themselves. It's that kind of, and every one of these corporations, they get this corporate equality index back, and based on where they score, a lot of times they panic and they make all kinds of wild moves just to try to get on the bended knee for the leftists out there. They don't want to be canceled as a company, and in turn, when they bend that knee, half of America cuts them off. Don't believe me? Ask Disney. Just saying. Lentz expressed the sympathy for Mulvaney and contended that the influencer, who has received several brand deals from other corporations, quote, was caught in the middle of a horrible firestorm. John Casey, a contributor with The Advocate and public relations executive, meanwhile wrote in an opinion piece for the LGBTQ publication that Anheuser-Busch, quote, poured alcohol over an extremist fire rather than rising to the defense of a transgender woman and defending a noble campaign that sought to reflect acceptance. Quote, maybe the worst thing the company did was leave Mulvaney all alone, twisting in the wind, abandoning any kind of defense of her. This is utterly repugnant. That's my word. Stop it. Reflection of the brand, he commented. It's not Kid Rock or Ted Nugent who should be boycotting Bud Light. It should be us. Yeah, but here's the thing, dude. Kid Rock and Ted Nugent actually carry some weight out there. I hate to break it to you. I mean, they're not afraid as entertainers to rise up against this woke BS. I mean, it is what it is. Kid Rock on camera opened fire on Bud Light cans. That happened, and he was a massive Bud Light supporter. Not to mention Kid Rock concerts, Ted Nugent concerts, John Rich concerts, Travis Tritt concerts. It goes on and on. All of which have said there's no way they've got Bud Light at one of their shows. Boston Red Sox. I mean, viral video, 300,000 views on the main channel, the big channel, the sports channel, of absolutely no Bud Light being sold at a Red Sox game. I mean, this boycott could potentially end Anheuser-Busch. And frankly, I am all here for it. I am. I hope, I wish this would actually spread a little more like wildfire to other things. Like, let's apply this enthusiasm to Disney, where it forces them to change their content and go back to traditional content that built the company. But they won't do it. I wish we had fire on other brands. Lucasfilm, Marvel, All these places, in some cases DC, and all their what, Superman's got a gay son kind of crap that's out there. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Tell me what you think. They've lost conservatives. They've lost Republicans that's actually got a pair. And now they're losing the leftists. Bud Light may go out of business over this. Goodbye. Yeah. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Make sure you use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word will get you 25% off. Go get them right now.